Welcome, Minecrafters! Wes here, and I'm playing the new Better Together Minecraft. And I'm in a new realm that I started about 2 weeks ago with some of my buddies. And we have found out that, yes, the Nether is the most peaceful place in the game. I'm going to demonstrate this now. I'm hanging out here in the overworld in the base that I built on top of a spawner, so I could get a little bit of XP. But we've been off to the Nether quite a few times. I've been playing in this realm with just 2 of my friends. We've been hanging out, having fun. And yes, there's a kind of a glitch now. The way that the mob spawn has made it so that the Nether has become very peaceful. I'm about to travel off to the Nether with nothing more than what's in the hotbar here. I've got no armor. We're going to cruise all over the Nether. We're going to hunt some Ghasts if we can. There's actually fewer Ghasts. We've also found that there's fewer wither skeletons. We found 3 fortresses. It's a little harder to navigate in the Nether now because there's no maps. Let's jump into the portal that we have here. And I linked this one up to a portal that's up at the very roof of the Nether. I like to do that because I like to make transportation systems up here. So we're just below the very roof of the Nether. And the way that I set this one up and kind of located it above my main base there was I had to actually build a few portals, figure out where they would come into the overworld, and kind of triangulate off of them. So you can see here I was making portals and kind of numbering them here, setting them up where they came into the overworld and kind of estimating where I needed to put that one there to make it link up to my main base, and it worked out. It took me a little while, but not too long. So now we're cruising down to an area in the Nether that's rather wide open and that we've traveled around quite a bit. We've found the 3 fortresses out here, and we're going to cruise off to one of them that's very far away. You can see that we go up that way to go to our end portal, which we found in their old regular way by shooting off Eyes of Ender. And then we built a Nether portal, came up and navigated our way back to here. I've got a guy playing with me, Elite, and he has got like almost a photographic memory. He can come up into the Nether, remember where he is almost all the time. But what I do is I throw down torches. So that's why I've got so many torches in my inventory here. And we also make these little kind of like, I guess you'd call them carrions. I'm not sure if you're off hiking. Anyway, these little pillars with the torches on them so we can navigate around. So I'm just following those. I want you to look around here. Look, we're in this big, huge open area, and there's no Ghasts. You know, every once in a while we'll hear some Ghasts, and I'm actually going to see if we can find 1 or 2. And the bow that I've got here is enchanted with just Unbreaking 3. It's just a regular bow, so obviously when you're killing a Ghast, you don't need a lot of power. All you got to do is hit them. And because the arrows don't drop now, it's really easy to hit the Ghasts. I mean, you know, 9 times out of 10, you can get a shot off before they even shoot a fire charge at you. So you really, like I'm demonstrating here, you really don't even need any armor. It's just amazing out here now. From the time that we first came up here, it has been a lot easier than it ever was in the game before. I've always been playing on the Xbox, but it's been getting progressively easier. So let me talk about what I think the glitch is. It appears that when you go into a chunk in the game now, the mobs spawn in and you reach the max mob count. But then, over time, if you kill them off, new ones don't appear to spawn in. So, we've probably killed, at least 20 Ghasts up here from the time that we first came in. And now, you can see that they're very rare. I mean, I'm traveling all over out here, and I've heard a couple so far, but I haven't seen any. And look at this huge open area here. I mean, in the old game, there definitely would be Ghasts in here. So it may be that if you spend a little time in a chunk and you knock off the evil mobs, they don't come back. So it's making it incredibly easy here. But I mean, even from the get-go, there were fewer Ghasts, and even when we went into the fortresses, I'm heading over to this fortress now, there were less wither skeletons, and they weren't really much of a problem. So this fortress that we're heading to now, we spent a little bit of time in. We built a little farm. I'll give you a quick look at that. Oh, we got to be a little careful here. We just saw an Enderman over here, and they seem to be a little more sensitive than they used to be. So we definitely don't want to make eye contact with him. But just sweeping your scan across them will anger them. And I think without any armor on, we'd get taken out by an Enderman pretty quick. Now, I did go online to see if other people are experiencing this, and I have found just a couple of posts regarding this low or broken spawning rules. It turns out that this is happening in the overworld as well as the Nether. But of course, you know, looking at it here from the Nether, which is the area in the game which was one of the most hostile places, now it's completely turned into this, you know, really simple, peaceful place. This basically completely destroys the in my opinion, the main functionality of the game. All of our farm designs and all of the building that we do to protect ourselves from mobs and to generate drops like this over here. I built this farm, and I'm thinking of finishing it off because it'll be a lot easier to work on it now that the game is down for a little while. I gotta believe that Mojang is going to be fixing this. I think there's actually an open bug report on this right now, so I'm sure that, well, I'm really hopeful that this is going to be fixed quickly. But what you can do now is cruise out into the Nether. You know, and it makes it so that things like building a farm like this are really easy. You can see that I was hanging out outside this thing a little while ago, and I put down some gravel like this to fill in the lava so I could put some pistons and everything out here. And you can see that I didn't get shot at by gas. Building is really simple right now in the Nether. It's also a heck of a lot easier to collect up glowstone and quartz. Some of my buddies have gotten like entire rooms decorated out with quartz ceilings and quartz walls and stuff like that. But building these farms, we don't really know what the spawning rules are actually going to be like when they fix this. So it might be a waste of time to be building farms like this. I'm not sure how much more I'm going to do on this. Now, I did notice that the spawners work really well. So blaze spawners are working really good. Actually, blaze spawners work now better than they ever have because the other mobs in the area, once you take them out, you don't reach the mob cap, and thus all the blazes will come in right around the spawner. So it makes collecting blaze rods really easy. Now, I'm trying to make this video as upbeat as possible with this new Better Together thing. But, you know, I gotta tell you that it's a little disappointing. If we wanted to play like this, we'd just play in peaceful. But I don't know. I guess what you could do is run out to your world, go up to the Nether, and collect up a bunch of quartz and glowstone. You know, build a little base if you wanted to, and things like that. It would be to take advantage of the glitch. That's maybe the best way to look at it. I think that the spawning rules where they no longer, the evil mobs no longer spawn 128 blocks away from you, and the game only updates and they only spawn in 64 blocks away from you. Well, I think that's kind of a little disconcerting. You really have to babysit your farms a lot, which makes the game a little, in my opinion, a little less functional. But I'm not going to fault the software developers because I don't understand all the trade-offs between how the graphics updates and what they needed to do to make it so that they could set up these realms and everything. So I would recommend you just utilize this glitch for a little while. Go out and collect up a lot of quartz like this. It's going to be pretty fast and a lot safer. And hopefully in the very near future we'll get the old mob spawning capabilities back or something similar to that. I will say that I am experiencing a little bit of lag. I never used to have lag. See this right here? I never used to have lag in my game. I have a very fast internet connection, and I'm using Ethernet. I don't use Wi-Fi. But I'm thinking that maybe that's another trade-off that we have to accept. I had so much lag when I tried to spawn in the Wither boss, that we actually couldn't kill him because as he knocked out so many blocks so quickly that the lag was just incredible. We had to shut the game down. And I am crashing a little bit more than before, but that typically happens when you get a major new update like this. I'm sure that they'll fix the crashes, things like that. So if you're new to the game, zip up to the Nether and explore it out. It'll be it'll be a little easier than normal. If you're an old hand, you might want to just run through your fortress once or twice and then give it up. I think right now what I'm going to do is continue to explore around out here, but I'm going to cut the video out. I'll be back if I find a ghast or anything exciting. Well, I was out in the Nether for, maybe a half an hour. Collected up a little bit of glowstone and some quartz. I only got one glimpse of a ghast, but didn't even get a shot off at him before he despawned, disappeared. So we're heading back to the overworld now, to the base that we've got. You can see how the graphics sometimes has a little trouble loading up right there. That happens to me fairly often in this game. So, I would recommend that you build your base around a spawner because the spawners are working really well. So you can collect XP and drops from the mobs and spawners. But definitely don't build any of the typical grinders and everything because your spawn rates are going to be extremely diminished everywhere in the overworld and in the Nether. I have been able to build an iron farm and keep that running. So the mechanics with the villagers are working okay. The only problem there is you have to be right next to it to keep it running, to keep that chunk loaded. So any farms that you build, like I said before, you kind of have to babysit. You got to sit right next to them. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Wes, and I'm signing out.